So sometime last week, I made a post about tampons, and somebody asked a very interesting question that I'm going to answer under this post or in this post. Yes. So I talked about tampon last week, and I explained how it works. And in that post, I know I asked women, how do you see tampons? You find it comfortable or does it inconvenience you and all of that? And then in the comment section, I got really nice energy towards tampon. I saw a couple of women saying, "Oh, I like tampon. It makes it easy for me. I like how comfortable it feels and all of that." And then there are still some women who are like, "No, I can't do that. It's not as good as it sounds," or "I don't just find it interesting." Or some persons were even like, "I've never tried it. I'm not interested. I'm okay with pads." So many things were just going on. We're just vibing, talking. And then here comes this interesting question. The question that made me leave the food I want to eat to make this video. I needed to answer this question because when I first saw that question, I almost laughed about it, to be honest. But I mean, you cannot just be laughing at someone's questions because you know it. Yes, because the fact that you know something doesn't mean that everybody knows it. And if somebody will summon courage to ask a question, it's because they want to know. And that question is the reason why I'm making this video. So, what's that question? Calm down. So, under my comment section, somebody asked that when a woman is in her period and she's using tampon, how then will she urinate? How will she pee? That's the question. Calm down, calm down. I know you know it, so you're feeling like, oh, is that even the question? Yes, that's the question. As I don't know how it sounds to you because you know it, but the truth is that there are so many persons who don't know it, and there are people who have not used tampons. In fact, some women don't even know that there's something called tampons. So I'm not even going to. Let's not even go into that. There are some women who don't even know that tampons are there. So I mean, somebody comes up tomorrow to say, "Oh, what's this tampon?" You don't also feel like, "What's that?" The fact that you're exposed to certain things doesn't mean that everybody's exposed to it. Yes, and when I mean some women, I don't mean the women in cities. There's so many women. I mean, people live in different places that some of these things people don't even buy them to sell there. So let's get into it. So that was the question this person asked, and I had to answer that question because interestingly, you might just think that is one person that asked that question. Yes, one person asked that question, but under that person's question, I saw a couple of other persons curious about the answer to that question. So I was offline for a while, and when I came, I saw like people were interested, like, how will I pee if I'm using tampon? And let's get it straight. That's why I'm here. The body of a woman has three openings, and even if these openings are quite close to each other, they all play different roles. They all do different jobs. The first one is the urethra, which is where urine comes out from, all the way from the kidney to the ureter, 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 all the way from the kidney to ureter to the bladder, and then it gets down to the urethra. Yes. So a woman pees through the urethra. The second opening is the odograss. Your vagina is the second opening, where of course women give birth from, where your period comes out from, and where you host genital party from. Very important. Then the third one is the anus, where we all pass stool from. Yes, so that brings us to the answer to that question. I mean, I've already answered that question without really saying anything about the question anymore because the fact I've mentioned all these three holes, you should have known that a woman using tampon during her menstrual period does not really stop her from peeing. Yes, because there are two different territories. While the tampon is seated right into the vagina, the urethra is doing its job. You can pee. It doesn't stop it. It doesn't block urine flow in any way because they are not in the same hole or the same opening. So that's it. So basically, understanding how our body works as women is very important because this is 2026. You don't want to start asking this kind of question and then the other gender will be laughing at us now. But that's why I'm here. And for you that know, don't shall feel like people should not ask those questions because you know it. There are so many things that me and you don't know. And one day we'll ask too, and people might laugh. So that's basically it. You have no business thinking that you cannot pee when you're using tampons. No, 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 no. You can. That's nothing to worry about. If you find tampons interesting and you think you need to try it, go ahead, sister, and try it. And then come back, tell us how it feels like. And by the way, if you have similar questions like the one we just tackled, questions that people will laugh or people will think that you don't know anything, ask. Yes, if you don't ask, you don't know. And if this person didn't ask this question, we won't be talking about this now. The fact that this person even asked this question means that the probability of so many other women not knowing that is there. Because under her question, other people ask. And I think not just her, I think I saw that question in I mean a couple of other comments, or maybe two or three other comments. Yes. So I had to leave my food to come and make this video quick. So now I need to go back to eat. Yes. So see you guys in my next video.